Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome to my Basics in Chess series. So in this series we follow basically opening principles, middle game strategies and the end game strategies. But today we'll add another subject into the series, and this will be the so-called psychology in a chess game. So in this psychology in a chess game we'll try to improve really our mental skills, and I'll show you also some good things how you can prepare for a chess game. But today we'll talk about really the stressful things about in chess, because chess can really be sometimes really stressful, and you could sometimes lose a game just because you cannot handle the pressure. So one of the worst things that happens to me while playing a chess game is that I sometimes really forget about prepared openings. I've already prepared particular lines, then I simply forget about it, and I don't know what to do. I cannot access sometimes to my memory, and I cannot find these common moves, these common tactical ideas of particular openings, and this is sometimes really bad for me. So in order to improve this mental skills, I've read some articles, I've watched some videos, and I found a really good article how you can really improve your mental skills and try to access really your memory. Try to access to your imaginations, because chess is all about creations, imaginations, but also it's about memorizing things. And here I wanted to show you a method how you can really improve your mental skills in a chess game. So this article said about moving your eyes to the left or to the right, or moving the eyes straight forward. So I've seen many grandmasters doing that. Basically, when they find themselves in some critical moments, they move the head to the right or they move the head to the left, and they're watching something. And I've noticed it, and then I did some research, and it means that these players try to get the best out of their memory. So moving the eyes to the right will get you an access to constructed imagery, constructed sounds and words, and tactile and visceral feelings. So moving your eyes to the left will get you access to your remembered imagery, remembered sounds, words, and discriminating tones, and you can also access to your inner dialogue with yourself, moving your eyes to the left side. Moving your eyes straight means that you can quickly access sensory informations. So you see now in a good example how Garry Kasparov did the same thing. He moved his first eyes to the left and to the right, and then he was really focused on the board, and then he found really one of the best tactical motifs in chess history. So you see now in this example by Garry Kasparov, and I'll show you the pictures how Garry Kasparov moved his eyes to the left, to the right, and how he prepared for this tactical motif. Because as said, if you get too stressed out, probably Garry Kasparov, if he would have been too stressed out, then he wouldn't probably play this tactical beauty that I'm gonna show you in the continuation of the video. So this tactical motif that I'm gonna show you is really something special. I think it's really creation, it's love, it's power, it's dynamics, it's I don't know, memory. It's everything that chess is supposed to be. And this the funny thing about this, or the most important thing about this, is that it was played in the world championship match against Anatoly Karpov. So it means in the most stressful moment, it was the game 20, and it was really stressful moment. Garry Kasparov found, well, the tactical beauty of all time. So let's see how Garry Kasparov first prepared for this tactics, and then how he played this tactics. So the most important thing, and I've noticed it by my brother, he once failed to do that because he had many time on his clock. He had around 1 hour, and he had a completely winning position, but he was too stressful, and he played the next move very fast, and he lost the game eventually in a completely winning position. So in order to do that, in order to help you, you should really try to do this, what Garry Kasparov did. He first took his time, he didn't sit on the board. He tried to walk, he tried to get his blood into through the veins, and he tried to relax first a little bit, try to really release the pressure inside of him, and then to sit on the board and try to find the best move. So as said, this was game 20 of the World Championship match in 1919 against Anatoly Karpov, and this game was really followed by the media, and it was really one of the most important moments in chess history. So as said, you see here, Garry Kasparov first relaxed, and then after that he went to the board, and then he tried to really these things that I've explained to you. So here he first watched to the right. As said, he was trying to get access to his constructed imagery, and then after that he was looking to the left. Let me show you another picture. So here Garry Kasparov watching to the left, so he was trying to get access to his remembered imagery and to his remembered sound. So here he's trying to get access to his things that probably he's familiar with, so with his tactical motifs, with his tactical ideas that he has already learned about. And here after that Garry Kasparov watched left to the down, so he was trying to have an inner dialogue with himself. He tried really to focus. He tried to maybe say to himself and motivate himself, you can do this, it's a good move, it's probably winning, and you have to calculate now. And then in the next things he really got focused only on the board. Now we have Garry Kasparov really being like a wolf here, and now he's really focused on the board. Now he's doing these calculations, but that was all possible because he did first this mental preparation. So mental preparation is really important. So you see here Garry Kasparov is really focused, and I watched Garry Kasparov in a game, and he seems always so relaxed first a little bit before the games, and then after that he's really like a wolf. He turns like from smiling like he's really focused on the board. And this is really important because in none of these pictures you see Garry Kasparov didn't watch to Anatoly Karpov. He didn't watch what Anatoly Karpov was doing. He was watching only on the board. And that said, while he was preparing, now he's really prepared. We have now really one of the most beautiful tactical sequences in chess history. So as I said, it was all about loving chess. It's all about being brave. It's all about finding tactics. It was all about crushing your enemy, sort of, and it was really a great move. In the last move here, Anatoly Karpov played the move queen on e8, and you see now Garry Kasparov mentioned in his interview in this game that he wasn't calculating all of this because chess is sometimes about intuition. Sometimes you have to feel the position a little bit, because Garry Kasparov mentioned that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders. So we have here more attackers than defenders situation, and Garry Kasparov mentioned that this is probably it. Now I have to find the tactical shot. Now I have to find the tactical idea and crush my opponent. So here Garry Kasparov played well the move knight takes on h6, and here you see it's already brutal knight sacrifice, because this pawn is important. It's in front of the king, so the h file can get opened. Here if you try something like rook takes on h6, then knight on d6. If you try something like queen on g5, then rook on g5 is very powerful. If you try of course if you take the rook, then we have the fork, then you lose the queen. If you take the queen first, then here we have first a check, knight on f7, king on g8, knight takes on h6 with a check. Here now rook on rook on d1 can be played, and you see you cannot take the knight. Basically you can play maybe something like c3, but again knight on f7, and this is now completely winning here for Garry Kasparov. If you try here something like queen on d7 instead of this queen on h5, you see how deep this tactical idea by Garry Kasparov is. Then you get queen on g4, again after queen takes on g4, here knight on f7, again with the fork, and here we can take. If you try something like c3 again, then we have maybe knight on f7, here king on g8, but now bishop on g6 is very powerful. If you take this bishop, then rook on h4, and it's game over here. So that's why after knight on h6, here c3 was played by Anatoly Karpov, and here now knight on f5. So Garry Kasparov is sacrificing now this bishop on b2, c takes b2 was played, but now queen on g4. It's very, very powerful, because of course the threat is to play queen on h4. That's why bishop on c8 played by Karpov, trying to get one defender into the game. As said, again I'm pointing out that still we have, although Garry Kasparov has lost the bishop. Again, he mentioned in his interview that he has now six attackers against 4 defenders. So the position hasn't changed dramatically, because he got rid of this h6 pawn, but he lost the bishop, still continuing the game with this more attackers than defenders situation here. So that's why here queen on h4 was played, rook on h6. Here if you try something like king on g8, then rook on e2 can be played, or we can play something like king on h2. This is a very, very tricky move, because it's all a calm move by Garry Kasparov here. If you try something like rook on a7 in order to bring another defender into the game here on the 7th rank, then knight on g5 is very, very dangerous, because we have now the threat queen on h7. So this knight on g5 is the main idea by Garry Kasparov. That's why he would move the king first here to h2. In the continuation you can play something like g6, but now knight takes on e6, bishop takes on e6, now knight on h6 is very powerful. Bishop takes, queen takes on h6. If you try something like rook on g7, then bishop on g6, and this will be, I think, game over. So that's why after queen on h4, rook on h6 was played. Now knight takes on h6, we have g takes on h6, but now king on h2, again with the same idea to get the king out of the first rank, because then we have some discovered attack possibilities here with the knight. Queen on e5 was played, but now very powerful knight on g5. If you try something like queen on e1, then it's of course game over, because we have here a very cool checkmate with the knight on f7. So that's why here queen on f6 was played, but now rook on e8 played by Garry Kasparov. If you try something like bishop on b7, this is not good, because we have here very, very nice queen sacrifice. The queen takes on h6. If you take, then again knight on f7 with a powerful checkmate. If you try something like bishop on e6, then rook takes on e6 is of course also losing. So in the game Anatoly Karpov tried bishop on f5, but now again we have this very, very cool tactical motif, queen on h6, queen takes on h6, but now knight on f7 with the fork on the king and the queen, king on h7, bishop on f5 with the check. We have queen on g6, bishop takes on g6, now king on g7, but now rook on a1. And now if you try to promote the promotion, then bishop on b1, it comes with a discovered attack. Then you can try something like king on f7, but this is completely losing. You see, we can try maybe here bishop on g6. In the continuation you lose another piece, so here you can also lose this bishop, so it's of course game over. So here after rook on a8, bishop on e7 was tried here by Anatoly Karpov, but now rook on b8. We have a5. Karpov is trying to close the b file and somehow do this promotion, but now bishop on e4, here king on f7, and now bishop on d5. And in this position Anatoly Karpov resigned, because if you take here the bishop, then we can simply take this pawn, which is the most important piece for Anatoly Karpov. But here with the 3 pawns on the king side, it's game over here for the legendary Anatoly Karpov. So I said, first the preparation. So when you feel stressed out, when you feel too much stress, try to walk, try to get your blood into the veins. If you cannot access some of your memories, try to move your eyes to the left to the right. Of course, we are not the same people. In some occasions it can work, in some occasions it cannot work, but at least try it out. You see, Garry Kasparov was trying to do the same thing. I've seen many chess players doing the same thing, moving the eyes to the left or to the right. I saw many times Hikaru Nakamura and all of the top grandmasters. I've seen it also by Magnus Carlsen, so they're watching somewhere and try to access the memory. Really important thing, and as I said, this was really research from the 1970s. This was really noticed by some psychological experts, and I think it's really an important thing in chess also that can be applied. So we'll continue to follow this psychological aspects in a chess game. We'll try your improve your skills to be brave in chess game, because you have to be attacker if you want to win a chess game. And we'll see many of these Mikhail Tal games in this, because Mikhail Tal, well, he was really sort of a guy who was sometimes he didn't play the best moves. His tactical ideas were sometimes wrong, but because of the psychological aspects of the game, his opponents made sometimes really mistakes. They didn't play the best moves because they were scared, and they were probably scared because they were playing against Mikhail Tal, really the magician of Riga. So they were playing against the man, not against the board, and that's sometimes things that you should really avoid. You see, Garry Kasparov in this game, he didn't watch in Anatoly Karpov's direction. He was watching only on the board, was focusing on the board. He played a great tactical motif in a very important stage of this World Championship match in 1919. So it was game 20, really a decisive moment of this legendary match by these top grandmasters. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can follow my basics in chess series with some opening principles, middle game strategies, and the end game strategies. And you can also watch my chess tactics and chess puzzle series if you want to improve your tactical skills in a chess game. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.